Hurt Locker tells a story, obviously, of a US bomb squad in Baghdad. The film is a truly sort of visceral experience, and shows a very different side to the war in the sense of the struggle between violence to the body and psychological alienation, if you like, of the people doing this job. Was this something that you were consciously looking to explore with the Hurt Locker?
Well, certainly looking to explore the psychology at work behind somebody who walks toward what, like you and I and perhaps the rest of the world, would run from. And yet in America it's a volunteer military, so they're there by choice. And, you know, I think that's a pretty compelling paradox that I find pretty interesting. And, you know, these are men who, you know, have the most dangerous job in the world.
And there must be a particular type of character or skill set that it's involved with doing this job. I mean, there must be, I mean, what sort of people does this job attract?
Well, probably hard to generalize, you know, in any kind of simple way, but they're certainly extremely, extremely smart. They're like ad hoc engineers. I mean, they can sort of decipher a web and nest of wires and undetonated explosive devices in a matter of seconds, because if you're exposed too long in the field, your coordinates are called in for a sniper hit. And at the same time, incredible motor skills like that of a surgeon. Only unlike that of a surgeon, if they make a mistake, the patient dies. In this case, if they make a mistake, they die.
And also, unlike a surgeon, having to wear this incredible body armor and suits and extraordinary sort of working environment for these guys.
A punishing, you know, apparatus. I mean, we were shooting, I mean, my kind of glimpse of it, you know, shooting in the Middle East in the summer, which in Amman, Jordan, it has somewhat of an elevation, so it's about 115 degrees. In Baghdad, it's like much, much, much hotter. But this suit is a real bomb suit. It's not creation of wardrobe or art department, so it actually is made of Kevlar and ceramic plates and weighs about 100 pounds. So it's pretty extraordinary, and you wear it all day long.
And how did the actors actually find the experience of wearing this suit? Pretty tough, I imagine.
Well, I think pretty tough, but I think very tough. You know, I don't want to minimize it, but at the same time, you know, I think it became a kind of, I suppose, a sort of crucible by which the performance was annealed in a way. And you know, there was so much specificity that Mark Bull brought back from his embed, and it's such a well-crafted script that I think between, you know, the technology, the apparatus, and the screenplay, I think they were really able to, you know, give quite a profound performance.
How important was the location of the film? You shot in Jordan, didn't you? And how important was it for you to sort of recreate the sort of chaos and unpredictability, if you like, of these guys' lives working lives in Baghdad in the way that you made the film? And how did you go about doing that?
Well, you know, because it began as reportage, our combined interest, Mark and I, wanted to keep it very repertorial. And I think, to be honest, these gentlemen go out 10, 12, 15 times a day. They're even exposed much more than what we have in the movie. So it's, you know, it's certainly an effort to keep it as realistic and authentic, and yet it's meant to be a motion picture. You know, it's not a documentary, but it's very, very naturalistic, given what Mark's takeaway was from his embed.
And do you think it was quite a punishing experience for the actors, in the sense of working in that heat and the number of cameras you had and the amount of movement and the sheer sort of unpredictability, I suppose, of what you're trying to recreate?
I think it was. I mean, I remember there was a moment where we were shooting the sniper scene in the desert, and there was a sandstorm, and Anthony Mackie was up on the ridge, you know, at the moment when they're shooting at the bunker, and I would say cut, and, you know, everybody else would kind of take a break for a second. He just stayed there with the sand coming into his face. He was just absolutely implacable. And I think, you know, I kind of leaned down in his ear and I said, 4 years of Juilliard, you know, just to remind him. But anyway, no, they were an incredible, incredible, incredible group. I am a very fortunate director to be able to work with them.
The British newspapers obviously at the moment filled with stories from Afghanistan about British troops being killed, losing their lives through IEDs. The same is obviously happening in Iraq and has been for a long time. This appears to be a sort of new type of war, and one that sees our troops having to sort of confront a faceless enemy. And I think that really comes out in the film, the sense that you don't get a chance to see the enemy eye to eye. It's a sort of faceless presence.
I think that was certainly for me so magnificently crafted in the screenplay, and what compelled me to want to make the movie was how abstract the conflict is. You know, not really, certainly as a member of the general public, I feel like it was slightly underreported in America, and not really kind of being able to understand it. You read about IEDs, EOD, not understanding this kind of faceless enemy, and yet, as you know, Mark was creating the script, and as we began to shoot this piece, I realized that, you know, it was a real opportunity to kind of unpack the sort of unknowable, unless you're a member of the military and you're able to go to the front lines, and give an audience a sort of boots on the ground, you are there, look at this particular conflict in order to, you know, hopefully open a bit of a window on it.
Well, thanks very much. It's certainly one of Esquire's recommended films of the year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.